Welcome to News in Brief from RJA Global Network. Daily meetings of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi. The Grand Shia Islamic jurist Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Shirazi holds in-person meetings with large numbers of people, including religious scholars, university figures, and social and cultural activists, as well as public groups of people on a daily basis. In these meetings, the attendees report on their activities, explain their views, and listen to the guidelines and advices of the Grand Jurist. Iraqi elite university students meet Grand Ayatollah Shirazi. Several elite female university students from Iraq were accompanied by Sheikh AhlulBayt to visit the Grand Shia jurist Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Shirazi. In this meeting, the Grand jurist explained around the ways of success for the youth using the holy verses of Quran and the noble narrations. Concerns escalate over safety of Shia citizens in Saudi Arabia. Shia Rights Watch and Nonviolence Incorporation, dependent to Imam Shirazi World Foundation, as well as Adam Center for Human Rights and Freedoms, have published separate messages to express their concerns over the safety of the Shia Muslims in Saudi Arabia. This is while the Saudi regime continues its repressive policies against its Shia citizens, as opposed to the human rights conventions and international norms. These human rights organizations affiliated to the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi also condemned the Saudi crackdown against Shia activists in this country and demanded the international community to help stop this horrible trend. In parts of these messages were read, "Once again, the Saudi authorities violate the basic human rights principles by verifying death penalty for 29 of its Shia citizens from Qatif accused of unfounded and unbiased religious charges. The capital punishment for protesters is speculated to send a strong message to all reformers, protesters, and the regime's dissidents. These messages further describe the death penalties against the Shia dissidents in Saudi Arabia as unprecedented and pointed to the governmental raids in Shia neighborhoods, which were fueled by sectarian motives." The human rights organization affiliated to the Grand Jurist also hinted that these violations of human rights receive no attention on the side of the international foundations. Thus, they requested all democratic societies and human rights organizations to stage a unanimous opposition to the arbitrary executions underway in Saudi Arabia and make sure all dissidents receive a fair trial. Islamic law by Grand Ayatollah Shirazi republished in Swahili. Due to collective request for the Book of Islamic Law written by the Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Shirazi in Eastern Africa, this book was republished for the third time in Swahili language by Master of Martyrs Global Foundation. The Book of Islamic Law by the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi was previously printed and distributed among the African Shia Muslims in 3,000 copies, but after continued request, this book was once again printed and distributed with a calculation of 500 copies. AhlulBayt Charitable Center examines lessons for Lady Masoumeh, peace be upon her. AhlulBayt Charitable Center, affiliated to the office of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Basra, held a discussion session to examine lessons from the character of Lady Masoumeh, peace be upon her, on the auspicious birthday anniversary of this noble lady. This discussion session was attended by religious experts, seminary students, religious speakers, and university figures.